Let's talk about layers and let's talk about groups. It doesn't take long in a Photoshop project to get complicated. Lots of layers is what I'm talking about. This one really isn't that complicated. However, I have separated each part of that funny face into a separate layer, and I have text in two different layers. I work on documents that can be hundreds of layers. You might too. The layers palette can get very complex and very difficult to scroll up and down. Adobe gives us something that can really help us out, and they're called groups. Groups will help us contain the complexity of the layers palette, if you will. We could start by, say, for example, I want to move that face. But you'll notice I'm just moving the hair. You get the idea. What I need to do is I need to select all these. So I have to stop and shift-click to select all of those items so that I can move them. Now, yes, I know I can click this button right here. We'll talk more about that later, where they're all permanently linked together. But if I need to move those individual pieces, I will have to make sure they're selected. So that's one thing against having individual layers all by themselves. The same thing with the text, two different areas. What we can do is we can control the process using a group. If I click this button right here, that button allows me to create a group. And of course, it'll have a generic name, Group 1. There is nothing in it yet. If I want to move all of these items into that group, I could indeed select all of them and then drag them up to group. You'll see group box in, and they are now part of that group. Now, the advantages, I can turn them all on and off at the same time. Since I'm working with the group, if I move it, it will move all the items at the same time. You have a lot of control. Anytime I want to go into the group, I can click this button right here, and I can then work with the individual pieces. So the groups give us control. Here's another thing. If I select that group and decide I don't want those items in the group anymore, one way would be to open it up and drag them out. You could do that. Here's an easier way. Actually select Group 1 and then click. Don't drag down, but click the delete button, and it will give you the option of deleting only the group or the group and the contents. If I say group only, I've got my items back. They're not a group anymore. Andy, is there an easier way to make a group because I know what's in the group? And that's going to be the next step. Go ahead and select all the items that you want to put into the group. Again, we'll shift-click to make all these items selected. Go to your layers options right here and go down to not new group, but new group from layers. The layers you have selected. Give it a name like maybe face elements and click OK. They're now in there. We could do the same thing with these two. We could either create one from scratch or we could create it up here. Now here's another trick. You want to create it, you want to give it a name, but we know we have to double click to give it a name. Here's an easier way to do that. Actually hold down your Alt key, Option key on a Mac, and then click the group button. It will open up the new group dialog. You can give it a name here, like maybe text. Click OK. And then of course we could select both of these items and drag them up. To me, groups are very important in complex documents. If you don't have a lot of things going on, I will admit they're not really that necessary. But you can move groups from one document to another, which can save you time. You have a lot of control working with groups.